Right, today we're talking about Brodie Lee. So he was named as Brodie Lee, an American professional wrestler. He performed in WWE from 2012 to 2019 under the ring name Luke Harper and performed in All Elite Wrestling in 2020 under the name Mr. Brodie Lee. From 2003 to 2012, he performed as Brodie Lee on the American independent circuit for promotions such as Shikara, CZW, Ring of Honor, Dragon Gate USA, as well as Dragon Gate Japan. Upon signing with WWE in 2012, he assumed the Luke Harper name and was sent to WWE's developmental FCW before debuting in NXT as a part of the Wyatt family. For most of his WWE career, he was closely associated with the Wyatt family members Bray Wyatt and Eric Rowan. The Wyatt family won the NXT Tag Team Championships, the WWE SmackDown Tag Team Championship, the team of Harper and Rowan, later known as the Bludgeon Brothers. In one of their tag team runs, went on to hold the SmackDown Tag Team Championship once more, and in single competition he became one-time Intercontinental Champion. He departed WWE in December of 2019 and made his AEW debut in March 2020 as Mr. Brodie Lee, the leader of the Dark Order, and won the AEW TNT Championship. In August of that year, he was hospitalized in October for an empathic pulmonary fibrosis, from which he died in December at the age of 41. So in his early life, he was born in Rochester, New York on December 16, 1979. He attended McQuad Jesuit High School and played lacrosse for 4 years. He also played hockey in the independent youth leagues. So in his early career, he first got into wrestling as a backyard wrestler, performing under the name Huber Boy 2, which is the likes of Colin Delaney and his real-life brother Rob Ryan, Chris Huber, and Jimmy Olsen. Huber eventually formally trained by Kirby Marcos and Rick Matrix and Tony Mamaluke in Shindataki, New York, and he made his debut for Rock City Wrestling in 2003, working under a mask as Huber Boy 2. Later that year, he unmasked and began working as Brodie Lee for RPW. He came up with the name Brodie Lee from the movie Mallrats by combining the names of Jason Lee and Brodie Bruce. Though his style and appearance was also brought comparisons to Bruiser Brody, he mistakenly thinking the ring name was derived from Bruiser. Throughout his time in RPW, which later renamed the NWA Upstate and then again as NWA New York, Lee went on to win multiple championships, including the Heavyweight Championship on 3 separate occasions, the Tag Team Championship once, and after won the Television Championship, he unified it with Kayfabe Dojo Championship. Huber made his debut for Philadelphia-based Shikara. This will prove everything using the Right Stuff Brodie Lee gimmick and losing to Equinox. He originally was not scheduled to wrestle at the event, but was instead visiting backstage with friends. However, when Reckless Youth no-showed the event, Shikara booker Mike Quackenbush offered Lee the chance to get in the ring. Lee returned to the company 2 months later, defeating Equinox in a rematch, so on streak of not being pinned or submitted that lasted the rest of the year. In August, Lee assigned himself to the Olsen twins and adopted the nickname Big Rig, a more serious gimmick of a trucker. Lee and the Olsen twins were scheduled to enter the 2008 King of Trios tournament as Team Dr. Keith, but after Colin was signing a contract with WWE, the team was then left one man short. While Retail Dragon substituted Colin, the team lost the first round, so Lee turned on him, and whilst simultaneously ending the alliance with Jimmy Olsen in the process. In 2008, there was a Lee storyline where he bullied smaller wrestlers, led to Claudio Castagnoli issuing a challenge him. Their first match was on April the 20th, ending in Castagnoli being disqualified for accidentally kicking the referee in the match. The second match ended in a similar fashion, but this time Lee was disqualified for kicking the referee. This led to a no DQ match, which Lee won after intervention from Shane Hawk and Mitch Ryder, both of whom had a grudge with Castagnoli for breaking up the Kings of Wrestling the previous year. Lee's and Castagnoli's feud ended in September 7th, 2008, in Shikara's first ever steel cage match, with Castagnoli coming out as victorious. In late 2008, Lee aligned himself with Eddie Kingston and Grizzly Redwood to form the stable of the Roughnecks. The Roughnecks defeated Ultra Mantis Black, Crossbone and Sami Callihan to earn the spot in the 2009 Kings of Trios tournament. The Roughnecks lost their King of Trios opening round match to Team Uppercut. When Kingston moved on to feuding with Castagnoli, Lee and Redwood began wrestling the match as a tag team, with victories over Los Ice Creams, Chish Hernandez, Casey Day, and the North Star Express. Lee and Redwood earned their right to challenge Compendos de Parajas. Sorry if I butcher anything. Lee and Redwood challenged the Colony for the championship, but were defeated 2 straight falls. Lee opted to give Redwood one more chance, but when he dropped the fall in the match against the Horizon Portal, Lee kicked him in the face, effectively ending their Roughnecks. Redwood made his return 6 months later as the surprise opponent of Lee, but was easily defeated by him afterwards. Redwood stated that he was not done with Lee, but would repair himself for the next match. Lee entered the Countdown Showdown Battle Royal, where he was dominating the match before being eliminated by Redwood. Lee suffered an upset loss in the match against Dasher Hatfield, who was defeated by Redwood the following day. Lee and Redwood have earned each other's respect and reunited, attacking Hatfield after his match with Shane Buckhawk. At the season 10 premiere, the Roughnecks defeated the Throwbacks in a tag match. The Roughnecks and the Throwbacks ended their feud in a lumberjack match where Hatfield and Dunkerton were victorious. Lee entered the 12 Large Summit set to determine the inaugural Chikara Grand Champion, but was forced to pull out of the tournament following his first match after suffering a legitimate injury. Lee returned to Chikara after signing a development contract with WWE. Lee made his farewell appearance for Chikara when he unsuccessfully challenged Eddie Kingston for the Grand Championship. So Lee made his debut for Ring of Honor in 2008, aligning himself with the Age of 4 and helping the group lead Jimmy Jacobs to defeat Austin Aries in an Anything Goes match. Lee then teamed with fellow Age of the 4 member Delirious and defeated Chica and Cloudy in a tag team match before ending the night attacking Necro Butcher, with whom Stable was feuding. After his match go Shanzaki on November 7th, Lee's match with Necro Butcher ended in disqualification, and the rest of the Age of the 4 attacked his opponent. Lee and Necro Butcher had a rematch at Anything Goes rules, which Necro won. In March, Delirious turned on the Age of the Fall, and on May 30th, he defeated Lee in the final ROH match. Lee debuted for Evolve at the promotion's first ever show, teaming with Grant and Kuma and Icarius in a 6-man tag match where they were defeated by Team Frightening. After losing single matches to Gran Akuma, he picked up his first victory with the company by defeating Gran Akuma, Hello Wicked, and Chris Dickinson in a fatal 4-way match. For the 4th show, Lee wrestled John Moxley in a no contest as Moxley was protesting the stoppage. Lee kicked a chair into his face, which led to Evolve suspending him for the show. Lee returned to Evolve in a match where he was defeated by Sami Callihan via submission. So, Lee made his debut for Dragon Gate USA, defeating Cheap Cloudy, Kyle O'Reilly, Phil Atlas, Extremo, Brent B, Anthony Fiasco in a dark 8-way Frey elimination match before the tapings of the Uprising pay-per-view. Later on the pay-per-view section of the evening, Lee interrupted a match between Rip Impact and Johnny Wave, beat down both of the competitors and said that next time he would be coming after the Japanese wrestler. Lee defeated Da Soul touches in a 3-on-1 handicap match before repeating his threat after going after the Japanese competitor. Later that night, Lee says sat on Yamamoto and chased him away from ringside when he tried to interfere in a match between Jon Moxley and Jimmy Jacobs. The following day, Lee defeated Jimmy Jacobs, Kyle O'Reilly, Mike Quackenbush, Rich Swann, Sidious Young in a 6-way match. At Dragon Gate USA's first live pay-per-view, Bushido, Code of the Warrior, Lee teamed with sumo legend Akabono in a tag team match where he defeated Asorian Portal. After the match, Lee and Akabono had been separated from one another by the rest of the Dragon Gate USA locker room. Later that night, Kima used his draft pick to name Lee as the newest member of the Warriors International stable. Following day's tapings of Freedom Fight 2010, Lee defeated Akabono in a singles match. At United NYC, Lee, now representing heel group Blood Warriors, defeated Jimmy Jacobs in a singles match. The following day at United Philly, Lee suffered his first loss in Dragon Gate USA when he was defeated by Open Freedom Gate champion Yamamoto in a non-title match. On December 21st, 2010, Lee made his debut for Japanese promotion Dragon Gate in Tokyo, where he was representing the Warriors stable by defeating Kizi. The Warriors stable turned heel, and when they attacked Masato Yoshino and World One, aligning themselves with Akuro Doi's group. Through Lee himself was not present as he was snowed in and could not make the show. The following day, Lee made his return to DG as a member of the new heel group. In a match where he, Gamma, and Genki Horiguchi defeated Yamato, Keishtora, and Diablo. The new group was named the Blood Warriors. Lee made his first debut for Jersey All Pro Wrestling in 2009 as a member of the Hilly B Wrecking Crew, along with the Necro Butcher and Trevor Murdoch. Lee and Necro defeated the Garden State Gods to win the JAPW Tag Team Championship. At JAPW's 12th anniversary show, Lee and Necro lost the titles to the Heavy Hitters in a 3-way tag match, which also included the Hate Club. Lee got a challenge for the Heavyweight Championship, but was defeated by defending champion Dan Maff. After the match, Nick Gage attacked Maff and joined the Hilly Billy Wrecking Crew, replacing Murdoch, who had left the company. Lee and Necro faced Maff and the JAPW New Jersey State Champion Charlie Haas in a tag team match where they put their careers on the line against the titles of their opponents. In the end, Lee managed to pin Haas after Maff had turned on him and becoming the New Jersey State Champion. Lee challenged Dan Maff for the Heavyweight Championship in a champion versus champion match, but was defeated. Lee's first successful defended the New Jersey State Championship against Eddie Kingston and defeated Dan Maff, Nick Gage, Azariel in a September championship scramble to win the Heavyweight Championship for the first time, unifying the two titles. He made his first Heavyweight Championship defense during an anniversary weekend, defeating Rhino with help from Nick Gage. They announced that Lee, who had not made an appearance for the promotion in 9 months, was stripped of the Heavyweight Championship. It was reported on March 12, 2012 that Huber signed a developmental contract with WWE, and he's made his debut for FCW at a house show working on the ring name Luke Harper. FCW rebranded to NXT. Harper made his television debut as a follower of Bray Wyatt, who introduced Harper as his first son of the Wyatt family. The Wyatt family later also came to include second son Eric Robin, whom Harper formed a tag team with. The two defeated Percy Watson and Yoshitatsu in their first match together. Harper and Robin again defeated Watson and Tatsu in an open round of the tag team tournament, following a win over Bo Dallas and Michael McGillicuddy in the semi-finals with Wyatt's interference. Harper and Rowan were defeated in the finals by Adrian Neville and Oliver Gray. Harper defeated Neville, and Harper and Rowan won the triple threat elimination tag match, last pinning Neville. Harper and Rowan defeated Adrian Neville and Bo Dallas, filling in for an injured Gray to win the NXT Tag Team Championships after retaining the titles against Corey Graves and Cassius Ohno. Harper and Rowan lost the tag team titles to Adrian Neville and Corey Graves. On an episode of Raw, WWE aired vignettes promoting the upcoming debut of the Wyatt family. The vignettes showed Wyatt's family's backwoods origins. The Wyatt family made their debut by assaulting Kane. Harper made his in-ring debut, where he and Rowan defeated Tons of Funk. Over the next few months, Harper and Rowan went on a winning streak over other teams until Cody Rhodes and Goldust handled their first loss. In November, the Wyatt family started a rivalry with CM Punk and Daniel Bryan, heading into Survivor Series, where Harper and Rowan lost to Punk and Bryan in the tag match. The following month at TLC, the Wyatt's family defeated Bryan in a 3-on-1 handicap match. At the Royal Rumble in 2014, Harper competed in his first Royal Rumble match, where he eliminated 2 other participants before being eliminated by Roman Reigns. Shortly afterwards, the Wyatt family began a feud with The Shield, leading to the match between the two teams at the Elimination Chamber, which the family won. During this time, Harper and Rowan also supported Bray Wyatt in his feud with John Cena at WrestleMania, with Harper and Rowan also starting their own feud with the Usos, who were WWE Tag Team Champions, who supported Cena in the feud. Harper and Rowan went on to unsuccessfully challenge for the Tag Team Championships at both Money in the Bank and Battleground. At the end of September, vignettes were shown of Harper and Rowan set free by Wyatt, making a dissolution of the Wyatt family and transitioning into his members being a single competition. A further series video vignettes aimed at Dolph Ziggler. Harper made his return television closing moments of the episode of Raw, throwing an unconscious Ziggler at Triple H and Stephanie McMahon's feet, expressing his desire to join their team at Survivor Series. Harper officially joined Team Authority immediately after, was awarded an impromptu match for the Intercontinental Championship against Dolph Ziggler, which were, after interference from Seth Rollins, Harper won to capture his first main roster title. At Survivor Series, Team Authority lost the match, which Harper was eliminated by Ziggler as punishment for his affliction. Basically, a punishment from the Authority, Harper was forced to defend the Intercontinental Championship against Dean Ambrose and successfully retained the title after getting himself disqualified. After Harper lost the title back to Ziggler in a ladder match at TLC and failed to regain the title in a rematch. Harper entered the Royal Rumble at number 4 and was eliminated by Bray Wyatt in the beginning of early March. Harper was involved in a storyline where he was many wrestlers stealing bad news about his Intercontinental Championship belt from Barris and each other. This led to 7-man ladder match for the title at WrestleMania 31, which Daniel Bryan won. This led to a new feud between Harper and Dean Ambrose, with Harper losing a Chicago street fight between the pair at Extreme Rules. Harper took part in the 2015 King of the Ring tournament, but was eliminated by Neville in the first. In early May, Harper revived his alliance with Eric Rowan after Rowan suffered an injury. Harper reunited with Bray Wyatt at Battleground, helping defeat Roman Reigns. This led to a tag team match between Harper and Wyatt against Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose at SummerSlam, which they lost. The following night on Raw, Braun Strowman joined Harper and Wyatt, the new member of the Wyatt family, at Night of Champions. The Wyatt family defeated Reigns, Ambrose, and Chris Jericho in a 6-man tag match. Eric Rowan returned to the Wyatt family when he filled in for Harper. The Wyatt family got involved in a feud between the Brothers of Destruction, which built the tag team match at Survivor Series, where they defeated Harper and Wyatt. The next night on Raw, Harper teamed with Wyatt again to defeat the Dudley Boys, igniting a new feud. Over the next weeks, Tommy Dreamer and Rhino joined the Dudley Boys in a feud, leading to an 8-man tag match tables match at TLC, where Harper, Wyatt, Rowan, and Strowman were victorious. Harper competed at the Royal Rumble with fellow Wyatt family members, and he was eliminated by Brock Lesnar, but returned to the ring later on with the Wyatt family members to eliminate Lesnar. Harper and Wyatt were defeated by Lesnar in a 2-on-1 handicap match at Roadblock. Harper suffered a knee injury during the untelevised match, sidelining him for 5 to 6 months. After getting an MRI, it was revealed that he dislocated his patella and tore his medial patelliformis ligament. Because of his injury, Harper was not drafted to Raw or SmackDown. in the draft. Harper returned to the ring unsuccessfully with Kevin Owens against Sami Zayn and Seth Rollins at a house show in Santiago, Chile. 4 days later, Harper returned to a match on SmackDown. SmackDown Brand pay-per-view No Mercy, helping Bray Wyatt defeat Randy Orton by distracting Orton. At TLC, Wyatt and Orton, who had joined the Wyatt family, captured the SmackDown Tag Team Championship, and 3 days later it was announced that Harper had been sanctioned as champion, as well as making him eligible to defend the title on the Freebird rule. The Wyatt family represented Harper and Orton. Lost the Tag Team Title Championships to American Alpha in a fatal 4-way elimination match. After the match, Harper and Orton showed tension over the loss after Wyatt and Orton unsuccessfully challenged American Alpha for the title. Harper and Orton shoved each other, which led to Harper accidentally super kicking at Wyatt. Harper and Orton continue having problems with each other, leading to the match between the two. Where Orton was victorious. After the match, Wyatt attacked Harper, sister Abigail separated the group. At the Royal Rumble, Harper entered the Royal Rumble at number 25, attacking both Wyatt and Orton in the team Apollo Crews before being eliminated by Goldberg. Harper turned face, helping WWE Champion John Cena in his confrontation with Orton and Wyatt. Elimination Chamber, Harper defeated by Orton. Shortly after this, Harper unsuccessfully faced AJ Styles over the number one contendership for the WWE Championship, held by Wyatt. A WrestleMania 33 pre-show, Harper took place in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, from which he was eliminated by Titus O'Neil. Following WrestleMania, Harper feuded with Eric Rowan, leading to the Independence Day Battle Royal to determine the number one contender for the United States Championship. He failed to win this match, was eventually won by AJ Styles. Harper disappeared from WWE television for several months. As a heel again, Harper returned to television in a vignette where he once again aligned with Eric Rowan. The duo dubbed the Bludgeon Brothers, with Harper's ring name shortened to simply Harper. The team wrestled their return match against the Hype Bros at the Clash Champions. The Bludgeon Brothers defeated Breezango in a squash match. Going into 2018, the Bludgeon Brothers began to target the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, the Usos, as well as their rivals, the New Day. The Bludgeon Brothers made an appearance at Fastlane, interfering during the SmackDown Tag Team Champion match between the Usos and the New Day. This led to a Tag Team Championship match between the three at WrestleMania 34, which the Bludgeon Brothers won to attain the titles. They would go on to successfully defend the titles against the Usos at the Grace Royal Rumble event, against Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson at Money in the Bank, and against Team Hell No Extreme Rules. The Bludgeon Brothers lost a disqualification in the championship defense against the New Day at SummerSlam, resulting in retaining the titles. 2 nights later, the New Day defeated Bludgeon Brothers in a disqualification match to win the championship and then their reign at 135 days. The following day, it was announced that Rowan had suffered a torn bicep, sidelining him indefinitely, putting the team on hiatus. So, Harper made a surprise appearance at NXT House Show, where he was unsuccessfully challenged Ricochet for the NXT North American Championship. Soon after, Harper took time off after undergoing surgery for a wrist injury. Harper returned to ring action, defeating Mojo Rawley at the house show in his hometown of Rochester. He made his television return at WrestleMania X's, defeating Dominic Dijakovic. I can't speak to it. Dijakovic. We're going to go with that. That's now his name, because I can't speak. Which aired as part of the WWE Worlds Collide special. Following that, he competed in Andre the Giant Battle Royal WrestleMania 35 pre-show, but failed to win and eliminated by Braun Strowman. After WrestleMania, Harper wrestled EC3 in a dark match before an episode of SmackDown. It was reported that Vince McMahon did not like the match, so he cancelled creative plans for Harper to feud with Sami Zayn. After that, Harper requested his release from WWE as he had not yet appeared on weekly television. His request was denied by McMahon. Dave Meltzer on the Wrestling Observer newsletter later reported that Harper's contract was originally going to expire in November 2019, but WWE added 6 months to it due to his time missed due to injury. It was reported that Harper returned travelling with the roster as he had been off events since requesting his release. The Clash Champions, his old ring name Luke Harper, he made his television return to WWE programming by attacking Roman Reigns in a match with former partner Eric Rowan. Harper ambushed Daniel Bryan after confrontation with Rowan, only to be interrupted by Reigns, who Harper and Rowan laid out as well. At Hell in a Cell, Harper and Rowan were defeated by Reigns and Bryan in a tag team match as part of the 2019 draft. Eric Rowan was drafted to Raw, disbanding the team. Harper's last television match was in Battle Royal at Crown Jewel event, which he lost. He filed claim up for Brodie Lee, his former wrestling name. It was announced that Harper had been released from his WWE contract. All Elite Wrestling. Huber made his surprise debut for All Elite Wrestling, reverting to his Brodie Lee name. He was revealed as the Exalted One, previously unseen leader of the villainous faction, the Dark Order, and attacked SoCal Uncensored and on the other members of the group. After remaining undefeated for several weeks, he lost his first match against Jon Moxley in a match for the AEW World Championship at Double or Nothing. Over the following months, he recruited new members to the Dark Order, including Colt Cabana and Anna Jay. Lee quickly defeated Cody to win the AEW TNT Championship. He successfully defended the championship against Rose and Orange Cassidy. Cody returned after Lee's match against Cassidy, and Lee challenged him in a dog collar match for the championship. Cody won the championship and ended Lee's reign at 55 days. This would mark Lee's final match, as then he went on hiatus and reportedly dealing with an unclosed injury, but died from idiopathic pulmonary fibrosis in December. So Huber was married to Amanda, a fellow wrestler who previously performed under the name Sydney Sin. In 2011, they had two sons, Brodie and Nolan. Following Huber's death, Brodie was signed to AEW and became a member of his father's faction, Dark Order, at the age of 8, with AEW stating that he can immediately start to perform for the company when he comes of age if he wishes so. Brodie, under the name of Brodie Lee Jr., wrestled his first match at Joey Janela's Spring Break in 2025 by winning the 2024 Clusterfuck Battle Royal. He defeated Joey Janela in his debut singles match, the main event, following the year's Spring Break event. Huber was a fan of the Washington football team and Toronto Maple Leafs. Unfortunately, Huber did die in 2020 on December 26th in Mayo Clinic, Jacksonville, Florida, 10 days after his 31st birthday. His widow, Amanda, said that he had been receiving treatment for a lung issue in the clinic since late October, despite some fans believed at the time that the issue was related to COVID-19. The issue was unrelated to COVID-19, as Huber had been tested negative multiple times. He was being moved to the intensive care in late October, and on AEW on the Streets podcast in 2021, Amanda revealed that Huber had died from idiopathic pulmonary fibrosis, a rare condition that causes lung tissue to continuously thicken until the lung can no longer function. Obviously, the AEW had made a celebration of life for him. You can go and see it on, I think so anyway. People have done a lot of things for him. The Young Bucks have done stuff on their channel. They had a show on December 30th episode of AEW Dynamite, Brodie Lee Celebration of Life. If you want to go and see that, you can. And obviously, the people who have teamed with him have done that. The Wrestle Kingdom have also done something for him. And then Dave Meltzer presented the Shad Gaspard and John Huber Memorial Award, named after Huber and fellow wrestler Shad Gaspard. So obviously, from what CM Punk has said, that it was not shown, not told to anybody, and his illness was kept secret to the AEW locker room. Obviously, with him and Bray Wyatt both dying within 3 years of each other, that only leaves two people of the Wyatt family left. Well, the main Wyatt family, Braun Strowman and Eric Rowan. So obviously, both of them dying quite young, considering that John Hughes was only 41. Obviously, his legacy is going to continue with Brodie Lee Jr., who seems to be starting wrestling now. I actually don't know how old Brodie Lee is. So Brodie Lee Jr. is only 14 and he's starting to get involved a bit more. And obviously, I think in some places, and like in America, you can. I know over here you can start wrestling at the age of 15. I think. Sometimes you can actually wrestle a lot younger. I know that Rey Mysterio started when he was about 14, 15. But yeah, obviously I want to do another video about somebody who passed away too soon. So I thought I'd do Luke Harper since I did Bray Wyatt last time, just get people to remember them, because they're not spoke about as much as other people who have passed away, like Eddie Guerrero or Jake the Snake or Razor Ramon. They're not spoken about as much as those people, so I thought I'd do a video on them. Enjoy.